This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Well, joining us today is James Campbell, the Managing Director of Botswana Diamonds, following publication of the company's interim statement and financial results. Welcome back, James. How are you?
I'm very, very good indeed, Mark. How are you? And thank you very much for having me.
Yes, I'm good. Thank you, James. It's good to be talking again. Of course, we caught up earlier on in the year. We had a bit of a special feature where you took us through the whole corporate objective and presentation of the company. And I'm pleased to see that a lot of those things that you talked about seem to be happening, and in fairly swift order as well. I mean, we talked last time about imminent production there at Marsfontein and wanting to become a diamond producer. Well, I mean, from the results this morning, the announcement this morning, you've done that, haven't you? You are in production now at Marsfontein.
Mark, it's a very good point you actually raise. That no, we like to try and obviously achieve what we set out to be achieve, and we like to be held accountable for what we actually state either in our interviews or annual reports. So yes, no, we're delighted to advise that the first diamonds have come out of our project at Marsfontein, and if your viewers go onto the Botswana Diamond Twitter site, they'll see a picture of one of our better looking diamonds we recovered, and this one came from one of the dumps.
Yeah, I've seen that picture this morning. I'd encourage people to go and have a look at that on your Twitter page there. As I understand Marsfontein, it was a fairly simple-ish operation, relatively speaking, and it's processing gravel, isn't it? So the actual operation is fairly straightforward and probably brought into production at probably not very much cost to Botswana Diamonds.
Absolutely, Mark. When we spoke in January, our plan was obviously to be in production shortly. The contractors' mining and processing equipment started arriving on site in mid-January, and 2 months later, we recovered our first diamond, and we're recovering diamonds every day at the moment. And the deal we have with Euro-African Diamond Corporation is that they put in all the capital and the operating cost. They run the mining operation. We provide the technical guidance and, of course, the compliance. And for that, Botswana Diamonds gets 15% of run-of-mine production and 25% of any special stone, which is basically an industry-designated category for anything over 10.8 carats or a coloured stone. So it's what we call a royalty mining agreement. We operated these very successfully when I was the CEO at Rockwell Diamonds. And we believe as Botswana Diamonds, this balances risk and reward for the nature of the deposits we're currently mining.
Excellent. Well, a key thing I picked up from the RNS this morning was that you stated that operations will be fully funded through 2023. Is this all from the revenue that will come from Marsfontein? And I hope at some point you'll be able to publish some of those numbers when it's appropriate.
Mark, it would be Marsfontein and then moving on to Thorny River itself. Thorny River is literally 5 kilometers as the crow flies northeast of Marsfontein. And as the interim stated, the idea is that once the mining permits are granted on Thorny River, the contractor will transition from Marsfontein to Thorny River and carry on going. If Marsfontein lasts longer, then we may well have 2 operations running by the end of Q2, going into Q3 of this year.
Excellent. And on Thorny River, then, you said there that the exploration is well advanced. Of course, this is drilling the kimberlite, isn't it? The hard rock.
Yes, Mark, we completed all of our exploration work last year. And following that exploration work, we applied for 2 mining permits. Mining permits are quite different from mining licenses in this country. Essentially, they're granted for a 2-year period, initial period +1, and over a 5-hectare area. And the bureaucracy required for these applications is significantly less than a mining license, which typically requires a feasibility study and is granted for a 20-year period. So we applied for those in Q3 from memory of last year, and we hope to have those granted by the regulator during the course of Q2 of this year.
Okay, excellent. So we can expect to see some operations happening at Thorny River in the not too distant future, hopefully. Just briefly, James, the RNS talked about the diamond industry. I just want to get just 30 seconds of your opinion on the diamond market at the moment and how pricing is looking.
The diamond market, Mark, at the moment is looking good, notwithstanding the conflict we have in Ukraine at the moment. And the key issue to watch is actually the reemergence of China as a major market. It's certainly looking like it's beginning to open, but China is so important for the diamond industry that we're watching this very, very carefully. And if China really does open to the extent we believe it will open, then that will provide further support to the increasing diamond prices.
Excellent. Okay, well, that's great. Let's move on to Botswana then. The first one here, again from the RNS this morning. You've concluded the Miabwe acquisition there, which again was something you said you wanted to do when we last spoke.
No, absolutely, Mark. This has been on my kind of to-do list for several years now. Miabwe, it was previously a joint venture with BCL, which was the large copper mine in Botswana, which went into liquidation. So it took a lot of negotiation and a lot of time to extricate ourselves from the joint venture with BCL. And we were delighted that the liquidators of BCL accepted our offer. And we've completed all the paperwork. We've got regulatory approval. So it's now done. And it's now up to ourselves and our partners, Future Minerals, to get on with exploration work in what is a highly prospective concession in the west of the Central Kalahari in Botswana.
And you plan to get on with exploration this year?
Absolutely. We are now in the process of reapplying for the updated prospecting licenses, and in that will be a work program. And yes, because we see that as being very complementary to our other activities in Botswana, being under Sunland and Sekaka, and of course the KX36 deposit too as well.
Excellent. Okay, and as we said before, that will be funded by the revenue from Marsfontein. So we're all good on the funding front there.
This is absolutely the plan, Mark, yes.
Excellent. Well, finally, James, there was a small line in the RNS about Gargu, and I know this has been going on for a fairly long time. Is there anything you can update on Gargu and what the situation is?
Absolutely, Mark. As per the chairman's comment in the interims, that we worked very, very hard over 2 years now to actually secure the acquisition of Gargu, and we went through a very quiet patch towards the end of last year. But there has been a resurgence of interest in working with Botswana Diamonds to acquire Gargu from GEM, and let's just hope and see what we can do.
Okay, excellent. Well, it's really good to get that update from you today, James. It's a very good report, I think, from the company. It does show that you are achieving what you want to achieve. It's great to see production there. Looking forward to catching up on some numbers, because the market will want to see some numbers as soon as they are available, or any other developments at Botswana Diamonds. But for now, thank you very much, James Campbell, Managing Director of Botswana Diamonds.
Thank you very much for having me, Mark. All the best.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.